The following story has been brought to you by StoriesToInspire.org.
A woman born a non-Jew grew up in a very wealthy neighborhood in a family of extreme wealth. She had all the luxuries she could ever want. But the day came when she felt she had lost her taste for life. Everything was just about clothing, cars, and who had a bigger house. She ended up meeting some Jewish girls and was enchanted by their midot and refinement. Eventually, she wanted to convert, and although the Rabbanim she met with discouraged her from converting, she had such a desire to become Jewish, eventually she did. When she told her father about her decision to convert, he sent her for psychological help and tried many other ways to stop her, but saw he wasn't going to win. Finally, he said to her, "I'm worth millions of dollars, but I will make one thing clear. If you convert, I will disinherit you. You won't receive even 1 cent. No food, no clothes, no money, nothing." Despite his threat, she was still willing to give it all up, and she became Jewish. She enrolled in a seminary in Israel. The school's principal was concerned she wouldn't be able to manage, coming from such a wealthy home. Now suddenly, she didn't even have enough money to buy a bottle of water or some bread. So he decided to set her up with a family who would adopt her and with whom she could live, providing her with support and care. The family was not well-to-do, as the husband spent his days learning in a kollel while his wife worked. The first Shabbat she spent with them, they couldn't help be impressed by her superlative midot and refined behavior. After Shabbat, they said to her, "From now on, our house is your house. You will be like our daughter." And from that day forward, they truly treated her like a daughter. When she started dating, a fine shidduch was suggested to her, a boy learning in Yerushalayim. And after several dates, they became engaged. But their joy was mixed with worry and stress. She didn't have any money to get married with, nor did the family who took her in. They calculated what the couple would need for the wedding and all the other expenses, including an apartment. And the boy's parents agreed to contribute a certain sum. The girl's side had to contribute the hefty sum of $50,000. The father of this family who took her in went to consult with one of the Gedolei Yisrael. He told the rabbi about the girl's self-sacrifice and how she had given up a life of wealth and luxury to become a Jew and dedicate her life to Hashem. The Gadol advised him to go to America and collect for her. He also gave him the number of a person who would tell him where to go to find potential donors. He called the man and got several addresses of wealthy people who might be willing to donate generously for Hachnasat Kala. When his plane finally landed in America, he immediately grabbed a taxi, but because he didn't know English that well, he mistakenly told the driver the wrong address. They arrived at a neighborhood with large fancy homes. When he went to the door of the address he was given, he saw it had a different name. He went across the street, but the name on that mailbox was also different. He didn't know what to do. It was very cold outside, and snow had started to fall. He started to walk up the street and look for a house with a mezuzah. A man dressed in a cashmere coat and dress shoes, talking on his cell phone and walking his vicious dog, passed by him. The dog sensed the Avrech's fear and started barking at him. And then all of a sudden, the dog jumped on him and bit him. Fortunately, he was dressed in many layers, and the dog only managed to tear his clothing. The dog owner shouted at the dog, trying to rescue this poor man. "Please don't call the police," the dog owner pleaded. "If you call them, they're going to take away my dog. This dog is like a member of my family. I'll give you anything if you just walk away." The Avrech responded in his broken English, "I don't live here. I came to raise $50,000 for my daughter's wedding." The wealthy man pulled out his checkbook on the spot, and wrote out a check for the full amount. The Avrech couldn't believe his eyes. He took a taxi right back to the airport to wait for the next flight home. When he returned, he told his family about the amazing experience he had. The Kala then asked if she could see the name and address on the check. When she saw it, she turned pale. The name on that check was none other than her own father. She said, "My father told me he wouldn't give me a cent if I converted to Judaism. And here, he paid for all my wedding expenses without even knowing it. Hashem runs the world. It does not matter what people try or say they are going to do. Whatever Hashem wants to happen is going to happen." Have a great day.
Enjoyed this story? Come again. Bring a friend. StoriesToInspire.org